Good day, everyone. Um, Please, if you can hear me, comment on the chat. You can hear me, comment on the chat. Yes, I can hear you. Okay. So good day. So you're welcome to this session, to this class. Today we'll be talking about GitHub. I and my team appreciate you guys for staying this long, and we hope that today will also make impact as usual. So today we are going to look at GitHub. If you are here and you have not taken our Linux class, this Linux is a prerequisite for this class because you need to know how Linux works. So you can go to our live session and look at Linux maybe after this class. So without wasting of our time, let's go to what we have today. So I'll be sharing my screen. So let's look at what we have for today. So let me share my screen. So if you can see my screen, uh, kindly let me know. You can see my screen. Drop it on the chat. If you can see my screen, indicate by typing you can see my screen. Okay. Okay. So now the first thing we need to do is to install Git. So to install Git, let me just go to the browser. So here I'll just type. Okay, let me go to google.com. So here I'll search for Git. Just type Git download. So once you type Git download, there is a click on the first one. So you can see here we have different options for different windows. So here you can see download for Mac. So that's because I am on Mac. So if you are using Windows, you see download for Windows or Linux. But I have already done that. You can also use Homebrew to install if Homebrew is installed on your system. Then after installing it for Windows users, so while installing this, it will also install Git Bash for you. So the Git Bash is what you use. Do not use the command prompt. So use the Git Bash. So let's see how Git Bash looks like. Let's say Git Bash. So let's go to image. So this is how Git Bash looks like. So this is how it looks like. So that's that. So but I've already installed it on my system because I don't want to waste much time. So let me go to my terminal. So if you are on Linux, you can use your terminal. If you are on Mac, you can use your terminal as well. So this is my terminal. So, but before that, let's look at what SVN is. Let's look at what version control system is. So let me open this. Okay. So what is version control system? So version control system can manage multiple versions of documents, programs, websites, and others. It can also track history of collection of files. It can also keep track of every modification made on a file. So now let me give an example. Supposing someone gives you a graphics works to design, then after designing the graphics work, you take it back to them, uh, and they say they want you to add additional stuff to the design. So, and you don't want to disrupt the old one you have already designed. So what you need to do is to save it first, then copy it and create a new version of that particular design so that you can work on the new version of it. So the first one, you now store it at version 1. Then after that, if you want to do another design, you can still copy it. So the second one will now be version 2. So that's how version control system works. So as you commit your changes, it saves it as different versions. So this will help you that if you make a mistake and you want to revert to a previous version, then you can do that. So that's what version control system is. So let's go to the next one. So why version control system? So why do we use version control system? So for individuals, so if you are working alone, it can help. It can help you go to previous versions of the document. For example, if you are working on a particular document, maybe you made a mistake, you can revert to the old version. Then for teams, it simplifies concurrent work and merging changes. It allows people to work together. So now you always hear software developers work from home and all of that. So it's this version control system that helps software developers to work from anywhere. For example, GitHub, they use GitHub, GitLab. So these are different version control systems they use to work from home or from anywhere they are. So it helps people to work in teams. So that's that. So we have three types of version control system. So the first one is the localized, the second one centralized, and the third one is distributed. So the localized keep local copies of the file. Basically, if you are working on your system and you want to use version control system, that's where localized comes in. Now we have the centralized. So centralized is always used when you work in a team. So how this centralized work is that you will have a server and a client. So the server is where everybody in the team pushes their code or their document. So in that server will merge everything together. So, but one of the problem of this centralized server is that if anything happens to that central server, then the project is gone. You cannot retrieve it again because all the clients will just have a part of what is on the central server, on the server. So that's one of the major drawback of centralized version control system. So example is CVS and CVN. Then let's go. So the next one is distributed. So the distributed version control system. So how this one works is that it also have a server, and everybody in the team have a full copy of what is on the server, so that if anything happens and the server crashes, you can pick from any member of the team, and the project continues. So that's the advantage of distributed version control system. So example is GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, and so many others. So in this case, you don't need to have a centralized server. All you just need to is just to go to the platform, download the repository, and continue with your work. Good. So that's that. So that's version control system. So we'll be using GitHub because we have different distributed version control system. We have GitHub, we have GitLab, we have Bitbucket, and so many of them. But in this class, we'll be using GitHub. So let's look at this. So how GitHub works, how Git works. So the first one is that once you add your file, we are going to see how this works practically. So once you add your file, the first place it goes is on the working directory. Then after that, it goes to the staging area. Then after that, it goes to the local repository. Then from the local repository, it goes to the remote repository. So let's go into practical to see how this works. Just minimize this. So I will be using two systems. The first system will be my Mac, which is my physical system. Then the second system will be my virtual machine, which I already installed Linux on it. So let's say my physical machine is here in Nigeria, while my virtual machine is in America. Okay, so we'll see how these two people work together, the virtual machine and the physical machine. So if you have not watched our video on virtualization, I will advise you look at it because it will help you understand more of what we are doing here. So now, so the first thing is that, okay, let's go to, so the first thing you need to do is go to the GitHub page. Go to the GitHub page. So let's say, so let me go to GitHub. So just type github.com, press enter. So I've already signed in. I've already signed in, but if you are a new user, all you need to do is just to sign up. It doesn't require much. It's just your email, your name, and password. That's all it requires to sign up. So once you sign up and sign in, it will bring you to this page. This is the home page of GitHub. So now the first thing we need to do is to connect our system to GitHub. Is to connect our system to GitHub. So to do that, I will go to this profile picture. I'll go to settings. Then I'll go to SSH and GPG. Then you can see this SSH key. So now we first need to generate this SSH key. So to generate this SSH key, we go to our terminal and type SSH key, then press enter. So it will ask you the location where you want to save the file. So I want to use this location. I'll just press enter. So I already have one, so it's asking me to override. I'll say yes, press enter, and enter again. So it has generated SSH key for me. So for me to view the SSH key, so look at the public key has been saved in this directory. So I'll copy this directory. Then I'll say cat, paste it, press enter. So I'll delete this key once I'm done with this class. So no need. So, but this key, you shouldn't expose it to anyone. You shouldn't let anyone see it. So I will copy this. So make sure you start with this SSH and make sure it ends here. No spaces, because if there is any space, it will not work. So I will copy that. Go back here and click on new SSH. So let's say Mark. I'll type the title and I'll paste it here. I'll add it. Type my password. So I have connected my Mac to the GitHub. So that's that. So let's connect our virtual machine as well. So let me go to my virtual machine. So this is my virtual machine. So I'm already signed in here. So let me go to here. Go to settings. PPG. So you can see my Mac key here. Then let me go to my terminal. Then let me generate the key here. It's just the same procedure. So that's it. So I will now copy this key here. Make sure there are no extra spaces. I'll generate a new key here. Paste it here. So, uh, so I've added that. So let me install Git on my Linux. I don't think it's installed. So to install it, let me say Git. Okay, Git is not installed. So let me just copy this. So it's installing Git on my Linux machine. So it has completed. So the next thing now is to create repository on GitHub. So to do that, let me come here. So I'll click on this icon to take me to the home page. Then I'll create a repository. So repository basically is just like a folder that will store all your files. So that's what repository is. Okay, so let me create a new repository. Uh, so let me say this is bootcamp. So you type the name. Then you select whether you want to make it public, that's for everyone can view it, or you want to just make it private as your own. So let's make this public. So I click on create repository. Okay, so that's it. So you can see GitHub has given you the procedures here. So let's start with the first one. So let me go back to my terminal on my physical machine. So let me start with my physical machine. So clear. So let me change directory to document. In my document, let me now create a folder. Call it bootcamp. It already exists. Let me just let me just use another name. Just use another name. Maybe okay. So now let's change to the directory. So I'm inside the bootcamp uh, directory. So if you are confused or you don't know about Linux, you can check out our live video on Linux. We have already done that in this bootcamp. So now, so the first thing I need to do is to initialize Git. So to initialize Git, so you can see here, we have Git init. So let me paste that here. So I have initialized Git, right? So the next one is, so you can, so let me open here. So I don't have any file on this folder. So let me create a file. Touch. I've created a file. Created a file named readme. So the next thing to do is to add this file. So in order to add this file, I'll say git add readme. So I have added this file. So the next one is to commit the changes that I have already made, because you know that I created a new file. So the next thing is to commit the changes that I have already made. So in order to do that, I'll say git commit -m. So you now type a message that will indicate what you did. So added a press enter. You can see one file changed, right? So the next one is to create a branch called main, right? To create a branch called main. So this branch, so let me create the branch. Press enter. So if I want to see it, I can say git branch. So you can see I have a branch here called main. So the next one is to add the URL. So in order to add the URL, I will just copy this, paste here, press enter. So to check it, we'll type git remote -v. So you can see we have the URL here. This one is for fetching, while this one is for push. And that's it. So now, in order to now push this to GitHub remote repository, because what we just did is to commit it to the local repository. But in order to push it to the remote repository, which is here, so you see if I refresh here, I still get this message. So let me push it to this website now, to this repository. So it has pushed it to the remote repository. So now, if I refresh this, so you can see here, I have the README file here, right? I have the README file, which I pushed from my physical machine. So let's make some changes. So let's say VIM README. There. Let's save this. I've said that. So the next thing is to add it. So git add README. Then we write, we commit it. And we push it. So it has pushed it. So now if I refresh this page, so you can see it has added this here. So if I open this README file, you can see it has added this here. So if you have any question, just drop it on the chat. When we are done with the class, I will attend to as much as I can. So that's that. So let me now pull this. Let me pull this let me clone this on my virtual machine. So to do that, let me go to my virtual machine. So this is my virtual machine. So what I need to do is I'll go to here. Let me go to the home page. So look at the repository here. So I can open it. So you can see the repository here. So I click here. So I'll copy this URL. So I'll copy it. Then I'll go to my terminal. Let me go to document. So nothing is here. So what I need to do is to say git clone. I'll paste the URL, press enter. So you can see cloning into what? Bootcamp. So this is the folder. So if I say ls, so you can see the folder here, Bootcamp. So let me change to Bootcamp directory. So if I say ls, so you can see the README file here. So that's that. So now my virtual machine has the repository now on the local machine. So let me make some changes on this file as the Linux user or the individual machine. So vi readme. I think I need a privilege to change it. Let me say that. So now I'll need to add this again. Add. It. Okay. So now the git. So that's pushed it. So let's check it. Yeah. So if we refresh, so you can see the test message here. So let me go to my physical machine on the browser of my physical machine as well. So you can see the browser of my physical machine here. So if I refresh this again, so you can see that the message is here. So now on my physical machine, I need to download this these changes that my virtual machine has made. So in order to do that, I don't need to use clone, because what I want to do is that if I download it, I need to merge it with what I already have on my physical machine. So in order to do that, let me minimize this. So in order to do that, I'll say git pull. I'll just use git pull. Press enter. So you can see that it has pulled it. So you see here readme two changes added. So let me see. So let's say cat readme. So you can see here that the message has been downloaded and merged on my local repository. I know it might be a bit confusing, but after this class, try and practice, because I believe that the more you practice, the more you understand what is happening here, right? So that's that. So now let me make another change here. Let me just create files, say touch, say out, upper, so press enter. So now this means that I want to create 5 files named Cloud Papa. So if I do ls now, you can see that I have 5 files like that. So now I need to add the changes that I have made. So in order to do that, I can add them one by one, but it's not really advisable because sometimes you may have a large number of files to add. You can have up to thousands of files to add. So for you to add them one by one will take a lot of time. So in order to avoid that, we can use git add. So, so this full stop means add everything in the directory. So once I press enter, it has added that. So I can say git commit um, add, press enter. That's that. So I will now push. So that's that. So if I come back here, so you can see that I have the readme file, only the readme file here. But if I refresh this page, so you can see now I have other files added to it. Right. So that's that. So I can go to my virtual machine and download these files. So what I just need to do is git here. So it has downloaded the files and merged it with what we already have on our virtual machine. So if I say ls, you can see the whole files there. So now let's talk about branching. So branching, now branching. So we have different branching strategies. We have the trunk-based development. So that's what we are doing right now. So you can see here, we have the branch. We have just one branch, which is the main branch. So everything is uploaded on this main branch for now, because we are using a trunk-based development branching, right? Everything is uploaded on this branch. So, but the risk in this trunk-based development branching is that if anybody uploads, maybe makes a mistake and upload it on this main branch, it will affect every other person, right? It will affect every other person. So people who use it are people who are grounded in testing and all of that, who are sure that what they are uploading there is very effective. So basically, where we use this type of branching is in CI/CD pipeline. So that's where we use this type of branching. So that's trunk-based um, branching strategy. Then the next one is the future branching. We have the future branching, which we are going to do next. So now, because sometimes you may have a team and you, let's say, company employs a new person or a junior developer. So you will not expect that the junior developer's code will be 100% perfect or will be as good as a senior. So now what we do is that the junior will create a branch. That's a branch. It's just like creating a different folder from this main branch. So that even if the person makes mistake, even if the person makes mistake, it will not affect every other person on the team. So that's the future branching. So we'll look at that. So let's look at how to create a branch. So in order to create a branch, we'll say git branch checkout. Sorry, not git branch. Git checkout -b -b. Then you type. So if you are using a future branching, okay, supposing you are working on a new feature, so you can say feature slash the feature you want to work on. Let's say add a comment. So, so you use feature first so that the person reviewing the code will know that this is a new feature. That then you add the name of the feature slash the name of the feature to identify what you did on the feature. So if I press enter, so you can see here it says switch to a new branch, add a comment, right? So now if I say git branch, so you can see now that I have two branches here. I have the main branch and the feature branch. So let's make some changes on the feature branch. Say ls. Okay, let's say let's make a change on the cloud proper one. Let's save that. So I have made that. I've made a change. So let's add it. Right? So now, as here, one file changed, one insertion. So it has added to the local repository. So let's go here. So if I refresh this page now, no changes yet. So let me push. Okay, saying that it has no. So now it's telling me that this feature slash what add a comment branch, it has no upstream. So what this means that if you come here, it's not on the remote repository, but it's on the what local repository. So to now push it, I need to copy this. So that's pushed it to the remote repository. So now if I refresh this, so if I click here, so you can see now that I have another branch here, which is what they add a comment branch, right? So if I open, so I'm still on the main branch, right? I'm still on the main branch. So if I open this Cloud Papa one, you can see that nothing is inside, right? Let me go back. So let me switch to the features, the add a comment branch. So if I click here now, you can see that in this add a comment feature branch, I have this, but it's not on the main branch. So this will help the senior developer to review this first. So after reviewing it, then he can now merge it to the main branch. So let's look at how to do that. So you can see here, it said that there is a new push to this what repository. So we need to create a pull request. So let's create a pull request. So compare and pull request. So now let me create a, so after reviewing everything, so let me create a pull request. So now, so after that, so after reviewing everything, so now I now want, because what I want to do is to integrate the future branch to the main branch so that everything in the future branch will also be in the main branch. So that's what I want to do here. I will now click on merge pull request, then confirm it. So now you can see pull request successfully merged and what closed. So let me go back here. Let me go to my main branch. So this is my main branch. So if I click here now, so you can see that it has been merged to the main branch. So that's that. So that's the future branch. So different companies use different branching system. Some will say, some will do their own like this. Get check out. Then the user, that's the user, the person pushing something slash task slash then the tax name. And so some companies will do theirs like this. So there are different branching systems. We have the release and so many others, but we'll just, so This one, the future branch, is the one that is popularly used. So also, so you know that if I say git branch, we are still on the future branch. So in order to go back to the main branch, because the merge basically is on the remote repository. It was not done on the local repository. In order to do that on the local repository, we can, first of all, we need to switch over to the main branch, because you can see here we are still on the future branch. So to switch over to the main branch, we say git checkout. So we don't add hyphen b. So hyphen b is if you want to create a new branch, that's when you add the hyphen b, right? So let's do that. So it has switched to the main what branch. So if I say git branch, so you can see that I am now on the main branch. So in order to merge the future branch and the main branch, in order to merge the future branch to the main branch, I'll say git merge. Press enter. So you can now see that it has merged it to the what? To the main branch. So um if I say cloud cat, so you can see here we have the comment here. So that's that. So now I'll go to my physical machine and pull. So let me go to my physical machine and pull. Let's say ls here. We don't. So let's say cat cow one. So you can see nothing is inside here. If I do cat, so let me pull. So that's that. So now if I do the same cat again, we can see the message here. So that's that. So that's it for GitHub. So that's where we'll stop today. So let me see. Let me take question. So the first question is, what exactly does SSH public identity to the destination is copied to? Is it the system on which it's generated or the user who generated it? I don't really understand your question, but the thing is that it's a means of authenticating the system. It's a means of authenticating the system. There are other ways you can use HTTP, but SSH is better. It's more secure than using HTTP. But it's just to authenticate the system, not the user. So does anyone? So let me look at the second one. Does one have to do git branch hyphen m before the main branch is created? Isn't it automatically created as the first? Okay. No. The first one that is created is the master. So master is the first one that is created. But if you want your main to be the main branch, then you use hyphen m to create it, right? So does merging a branch delete it, or its file still remain? Okay, merging a branch does not delete it. Its file still remains there. So you need to delete it manually. So let me show how to delete it manually. Uh, so add. So let me show how we can delete it manually. So now to delete it manually, let's say git branch. Okay. Okay, my mine deleted automatically, basically. So, but if you want to delete a branch, you can use git branch hyphen d, then the branch name. This is how to delete a branch. So that's that. So any question? So if you have any question, you can drop it. So I don't want this class to be too long. This is already 11 o'clock. So I think we will stop here for today. Thanks for being with us today. I believe that you learned one or two things from today's class. These are just the basic Git command. So you can go and explore more of the command and how to use it. So thank you guys. So if you are impacted today, please like and subscribe if you are new to our channel. And we really appreciate that. That's a way to encourage us to do more. And we will continue to give you the best we can. So thank you. So I'll see you. So I will see you next Saturday. Have a great weekend.